you ever suffer from anxiety, you're going to want to watch this video. My name is Brian. I've been in the health and wellness world for about 20 years, and I've been coaching pro-metabolic health for close to 10. And today I'm going to share with you some of my favorite ways to improve anxiety. Anxiety is a debilitating thing when you actually have it. It can make things feel completely unpredictable. It can make things feel out of your control. And worse off, it can make you feel completely helpless. One of the reasons we get anxious is part neurological, but part energetic as well. So on the one end, we have the brain trying to figure out what's going to happen next. What I'm going to predict is going to happen is going to shape the hormonal response that I have. It's going to shape the digestive response that I have. It's going to shape my motor response. How I move is going to be dependent upon how my brain is able to predict the world. Your brain is driven towards prediction. The number one thing the brain does is try to predict the world. And when your brain is missing certain pieces of that map of the world, of the information in the world coming in, it's very hard to make safe predictions. And so if I'm missing things metabolically, if I don't have enough energy in my brain to process the information coming in, that's going to make for terrible predictability. If I'm missing certain functions in my brain, a certain brain area is not healthy enough to actually get and receive information in an accurate way, that's going to drive up my unpredictability. And all of this eventually manifests with a sense of anxiety. So one of the best things we can do to improve anxiety is to go after both neurological and metabolic approaches. So first drill that I like to go over for anxiety, an oldie but a goodie, a drill that's been around since the beginning of time, and that is bag breathing, okay? What you're gonna do here, make a nice opening with the bag. You're going to cover your nose and your mouth, and then you're going to inhale nasally into the bag. You're gonna breathe in and out through your nose, slowly into the bag. And you're gonna do that until you get a sense of calm, until you start to feel that anxiety come down. This is a great drill, not only when you have anxiety happening at that moment. This is a great drill for preventing anxiety as well. By getting more CO2 recycled into your system, which is what happens when you're breathing it in and out of that bag, you're building up your CO2 levels. By building up your CO2 levels, you're improving your ability to use oxygen. Oxygen requires CO2 to get into the cell, and you're now making that process easier. Now you're affecting the metabolic function of a cell. And when you can change your metabolism, when you can improve the fuel availability in the cell, you can improve fuel availability into the brain. And when you can improve fuel availability into the brain can predict the world better. Second drill. We're actually going to do a drill for your vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is super popular right now, very in vogue nerve to stimulate. One of the big things that the vagus nerve is associated with is creating parasympathetic tone. People often think of parasympathetic tone as being very calm, very relaxing. It's also involved with digestion, which comes back to if I can't digest well, I can't get fuel into my system well. If I can give myself vagus nerve activation, I can also increase my sense of calm, and I can in turn lower my anxiety. So one of the best things you can do for increasing vagus nerve activation, gargle. That's right. Get some mouthwash, get some water, throw it back in your mouth, tilt your head back and gargle. I don't have any water right now, but I'm sure you can find some. Gargling is a great way to stimulate your vagus nerve. In order to get the most out of your gargling, you need to do two things. One, you need to make it loud. You need to make it a loud noise, not just a little bubble trickling in the back, but loud, very, very over-the-top noise. The second thing is you need to make it very forceful, very, very rigorous amount of airflow. That right there will stimulate a huge amount of a lot of the neck and tongue functions involved with your vagus nerve. So make it big, make it loud, make it count, because your brain wants you to. And the third thing we're going to do to improve anxiety, we're going to do something I like to call a short plank. Okay? A short plank does not mean short in duration. It actually means short in height. So a lot of people, when they do a plank, they're in a straight arm position. Okay? They're going to be having their arms locked out. They're going to be either on their toes or on their knees, depending on their strength. And they're going to hold themselves up for 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute. And that's all fine. That has its place. I'm not generally a big fan of planks because a lot of times what happens with a plank is people will put themselves into a position where their skeletal frame will actually hold them up. Their shoulders are placed over their hands in a way that the bones take on the brunt of the force. I want to take away that advantage of your structure. What I want to do in the short plank is have you get to the midpoint of your push-up position. So now what has to happen is, if this is my normal push-up top position, if I'm here in the half position or even a little bit lower, I now have a great deal of that tension put into the muscle. By putting the tension into the muscle, your frontal lobe has to maintain a neural signal to the tissues to keep them contracting, to keep them firing, to keep your muscles holding you up so you don't face plant into the ground. So what you're going to want to do here, find that position, whatever that is for you. If you can't go quite all the way down, but you can bend a little bit, I want you to bend a little bit. I want you to put some tension into the muscle. And as the muscle is firing and you're creating that frontal lobe stimulus, you're going to create a huge neural activation that can override anxiety. So as you're going through these drills, keep in mind that your intensity may vary. You may have to do things longer or less than other people, and that's okay. All we're looking for when looking at an anxiety approach is finding a way to reduce anxiety. So whatever that means for you, could be a little, could be a lot, that's okay. The goal is to make it individualized for you. Hopefully this makes sense. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, stick around because I've got more coming at you very soon.